are you doing to sell? And we ran out of board games and we did all the other things. We cleaned everything. And I'm like, man, I might as well you. There's nothing he could physically do to stop that besides put his legs in the air and choose a position. Maybe I'll let him choose a position.
He looks like a dude who screams no homo when he He's probably the most famous this year for releasing the track of the century in the form of a diss on Drake, as well as the feud and beef the two of them were having, and also just released a new album, GNX, which is super good if you haven't already listened to it. And there's one song at the very start of the album that apparently got a lot of white comedians super mad. They got triggered, they want safe spaces, and they want to cancel Kendrick for putting a line in the song. Now, if you haven't listened to it, I will play the line, or just a little quick breakdown of what the line was, and that way you have some reference points, so you don't have to listen to the album or enjoy hip-hop to see parts of the story.
No juice inside of my cup, I sober up and knock them all off. Don't let no white comedian talk about no black woman, that's law. This, to me, is a shot at comedian Andrew Schulz on his Flagrant podcast when... They were joking and talking about white guys who date black women and you know they I guess, and I don't know the full context. Maybe they were talking about Travis Kelce. No. It could have been about Travis Kelce when he was the girl he was dating before Taylor Swift. I'm not 100% sure, but they were talking about white guys dating black women and getting buzz cuts and growing out beards. And Andrew Schulz basically were like, nah, it's because they lose their hair because the black girlfriend stresses them out, and they grow their beards because when the black girlfriend is about to smack the shit out of them, you know, the beard provides cushioning. That was like the gist of the joke. And you know, certain jokes you can't make. Like, comedy is meant to push the line. Like I get it, you know what I'm saying? But there's certain jokes you're gonna make is gonna make people feel away. Kendrick saying, don't let no white comedian talk about no black woman, that's law. Because, you know, there's a historical context to that, you know, and he draws that line again, like, yo, that's law. That's it. So I believe that I'm fairly certain that was at Andrew Schulz.
So, after this, a response comes in the cringiest of all cringe. Check this headline out. Kendrick Lamar's bold lyric sparks controversy amongst comedians. White comedians are standing their ground. What the fuck happened? You know? Like, I consider myself a comedian, and one of the reasons why is when I was growing up, comedians inspired me. They were subversive. They were the truth tellers. You know, they would actually say the things that a lot of people couldn't say and actually call into question structures of power through the use of humor and comedy. And it was a beautiful thing to behold, especially when you saw a master at their craft. And then sometimes, you know, comedians that came from different backgrounds were able to, again, use their platforms to teach about the history of what was happening to either, you know, the disenfranchised amongst their communities, or tell people who might not be a part of that same culture or ethnicity or group. And again, there's been so many goats throughout the years in the world of comedy that I am astounded now to see that nowadays comedians are the most fragile fucking snowflakes in every single way. Like, on one end, you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, no one can take a joke. No one can take a joke. And then if someone criticizes your jokes, then being like, they're trying to cancel me. They're trying to cancel me. I demand the right to be racist towards black women without consequences. Like, that's it, right? The end part, without consequences. You don't want pushback. You don't want people to call you out. You don't want people to be like, okay, well, yeah, so your joke was racist. Because, yeah, I believe you can joke about anything. Of course you can. But if you make a joke, the point or purpose of your joke is most likely going to have people be like, oh, okay, well, you suck. And if they say you suck, shouldn't that be the end of it? Shouldn't, like, aren't you supposed to be like, oh, okay, well, that's their free speech. Did they have a right to their opinion? Did they have a right? They can call me out if they want. And then maybe I can call them out in return or something else. Not be like, that's deeply unfair. You've hurt me. You're not allowed to do that. The recent surprise album, GNX, has ignited a firestorm of reactions, particularly from white comedians. One of the standout moments from the album is found in the intro track, Whacked Out Murals, where Lamar delivers a powerful line, don't let no white comedian talk about no black woman, that's law. This statement has resonated deeply, prompting various responses from the comedy community. In the wake of Lamar's remarks, several white comedians expressed their displeasure, notably comedian Gary Owen, amongst others who took umbrage. However, many social media users speculated that Lamar's comments were directed at Andrew Schulz, who had previously made controversial jokes about black women on his podcast. Andrew Schulz flagrant with the Cash Sing during the podcast episode. Schulz guests James Duncan and Fuhad Dawadu faced backlash for laughing along with his jokes rather than challenging them. In response to the criticism, the two British podcasters issued an apology, while Schulz remained unapologetic. Never apologize. Never. Weeks after the album's release, Schulz added or addressed Lamar's line in a sarcastic manner on his podcast. He quipped, and so actually I can play the clips. I got the
What a time
responses
to be
here.
alive where rappers got to talk about comedians for clout.
God bless, dude.
Like, we are up right now.
God bless.
The biggest story about the album, outside of the album and people enjoying it, was a sub at a comedian? And you don't even got to say my name and it still makes headlines?
It's crazy.
You're welcome. You are what? How many views did I give him, you think? I would make love to him and there's nothing he could do about it. Just Kendrick Lamar, I would make love to him and the only thing that he could do is decide if it's consensual or not. That's the only thing he could do. I need you like this. I need 5, but I need it to be like 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2.
All right.
I mean, you know, if it's true, you should be so lucky that that line was about you. Like, what a fucking honor. You could tell, like, just throughout history, the amount of people, especially like other musicians who have, had lines written about them by, other people with talent. And they actually just like, they take it as a compliment. The exception being Drake, obviously. Historically, Drake doesn't know how to do that. But like, other artists will hear like a line by Kendrick and hear a call out and be like, I was honored by that. That's actually pretty incredible. I can't believe I'm being featured on the album or something. And there's no actual direct evidence that line was specific to Andrew Schulz. Although like he seems to think it is.
Nobody has respected women more. Through art.
Yes.
Than rappers, okay?
Absolutely.
So I completely understand how a rapper could look at a comedian telling a joke and be like, yo, y'all need to switch that shit up.
Yeah.
How dare y'all keep saying your wives are annoying? Be more like us and, ain't nothing but hoes and tricks. I beat my bitch with a stick, what? You can lick on the nuts or suck the dick. I beat my bitch with a stick, what?
Did you just think of that?
That's a real lyric.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a real lyric from music that protects women.
As usual with the elite comedy assassins, they start off being funny, then it starts to get a little bit cringy, followed by bucket loads of copium. However, Andy and the Toy Story boys took it to a whole new level, where it went from cringe to just being straight up fucking weird. Schulze really is a strange dude. He's got some demons behind those eyes. But to start off with, I'm going to give you the full context behind this.
Well, no, I think honestly the problem here is that podcasts have made people feel a lot more powerful than reality. It's these little microphones in rooms, and then if you get an audience, all of a sudden people feel like they have a right to say shit like that. It's pretty wild. But hey, you can't have it both ways. You can't on one end be like, hey, I'm a comedian. I'm a truth teller, all right? I push boundaries. I break the rules. And I say the things that other people can't say because I'm a brave motherfucker. You can't have that. And at the same time, if someone's like, oh, by the way, you suck, being like, what the fuck? They're trying to cancel me. That's cancel culture. They can't take a joke. You can't take a joke. That's your problem. I was like, no, I can take a joke. I just don't find you funny. I think all you really do is just kind of like, low tier racism. Well, it's because you can't handle edgy humor. That's what it is. If you could handle edgy humor, you'd like, no, it's not that either. I watch a lot of super offensive shit all the time. It's a lot nicer if someone's actually, making very objectionable or offensive or edgy humor in order to punch up, in order to actually try and attack systems, structures of power, that kind of shit. I think it's a lot funnier if a jester would be making fun of the monarchs, the king and the queen, than making fun of people in the gallows. I think that would be a lot funnier because the people in the gallows are already in the fucking gallows,
Whole situation, because it goes back a few episodes to when the British podcasters from shit
About shit all the time. That's why they gotta shave their
Nah,
hair.
bro. White guys with black girlfriends,
They grow a
step-
beard
they step their
because
dick
there's
up.
more cushion when they get slapped the That's hilarious. I think the black girlfriend effect. It might be a protective instinct, bro.
You think?
Protective. Do you guys have you ever had black girlfriends?
Yeah.
Have you ever had white girls?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. What's your favorite?
We love them all.
Yeah.
Oh really?
We love them all.
Yeah.
That means white.
Yo, who gets?
Sam Rocher, thank you so much for the $10 dono. The comedian categories like Democrats, large tent with a good number of racists. Don't get me wrong, there's still tons of awesome comedians who are doing great work and fucking, you know, pushing the boundaries and being subversive and, you know, also doing multidisciplinary art where you're just like, holy shit, this like, you're actually trying to evolve the art form into something new. But just sitting in a room with a bunch of guys and then being like, hey, here's some fucking low tier 1990s style racist humor. The gist of his joke is that white guys who date black girls end up having to grow beards in order to soften the physical abuse from their black girlfriends. That's the reason why they do it.
Your friends laugh? I would never excuse that, Mark.
Yeah, like I said, that apology was cringe as
Okay, so that brings us to the album drops, and now this is the response. I
The
guess.
gang affiliate, you know, everybody, his security, they will kill me. They will destroy me. They'll find me in the street. They'll and cut me up. They'll shoot me. They'll do whatever. I'm not a tough guy. Y'all would do. But just Kendrick, I would make love to him. And there's nothing he could do about it. Just Kendrick Lamar, I would make love to him. And the only thing that he could do is decide if it's consensual or not. That's the only thing he could do. If it's me and Kendrick, this is about physics. It's about physics. I don't even know if I'll get hard. But if we're in a cell, there's a chance that if we're in a cell and we're bored and we done tattooing.
So yeah, so basically he thinks the album lyrics are about him. He gets called out for it, and then afterwards he's like, okay, so obviously I know that because of his affiliations, there's nothing I could ever do because Kendrick's people would kill me. But if it was just the two of us in a room, I would rape him because I could. That's gonna be the bit. Yeah, don't worry. I got a lot. There's a lot that I can talk about now. I've got a whole routine ready for this that I could actually rape that dude. Yeah. So giddy up.
Each other, whatever you do in the cell. And we ran out of board games and we did all the other things. We cleaned everything. And I'm like, man, I might as well you. There's nothing he could physically do to stop that besides put his legs in the air and choose a position. Maybe I let him choose a
Why are you
position.
pulling this picture up, Mark? Why are you doing this?
Look at, put up that picture of him and Travis Kelce's girl. Look at that shit.
Oh my God, dude, that's unbelievable.
Don't get me wrong. There's people who could me against my will. I was in an elevator once with this drag queen, and this motherfucker was like 6'5".
Oh, yeah.
And we're in the elevator, and we're going down. I'm like, yo, if he wanted to take it,
Yeah.
This is what I mean about, I think the problem here is just like the podcast and the ego and the microphones too, because like it's shit. It's just like really low hanging fruit. And again, it's not the offensive nature of it. Like I'm not offended. I'm not hurt. It's like most things when I hear this kind of shit, I'm like, I'm bored. Like, I could really fucking take advantage of that guy, you know, kind of thing. And, like, I mean, that's rich coming from a dude who just looks like the first picture that comes up whenever you Google the word pedophile, which is also kind of wild, right? I don't know how he looks worse than, like, Freddie Mercury's corpse, honestly. He looks like a dude who screams no homo when he comes in a guy's ass. Like, that's what this dude looks like. There you go. The edgy humor, offensive humor, right? The making fun of him. But at the same time, it doesn't have to be in regards to, hey, it would be absolutely hilarious if Kendrick Lamar came by and, you know, I was in a room with him because I would rape him. That's funny, right? I can keep on going. I got a whole bunch of bits. I could do this forever. Like you could do humor that isn't necessarily always fucking punching down every single time you do it.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This independent series is made entirely possible thanks to our patrons. It was produced by Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Bobby Lasers, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimongi, Omni, Political Papi, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Richard Bohem, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demmel, and Words Greenwood. Not to mention all the other patrons you now see on screen. We couldn't have done this show without you. If you can help support the show, please check out patreon.com/the Serfs to unlock bonus secret episodes as well as get the content before anyone else.